Hello there, my name is Armando. There is a particular moment in any change process that most people find deeply unsettling. It's that moment when you are doing the right things, but nothing seems to be happening. You are showing up, you are adjusting, you are making better decisions altogether, and yet externally, there is very little evidence that anything has changed. So you don't see any dramatic transformation, no visible milestone, no obvious reward. And that is usually the point where many people quietly stop. And not because they lack discipline, not because they lack intention even, but because progress can sometimes feel invisible. In my personal experience, we are psychologically wired to respond to feedback. We like visible improvement, we like immediate reinforcement, clear signals that our effort is paying off. And when those signals are delayed somehow, the mind begins to question the entire process. Is this even working? Am I wasting my time? Maybe I'm not doing enough. I've experienced this in many areas of my life. I mean, at the gym, especially, you can sometimes train consistently for weeks. You adjust your nutrition, you show up even on low energy days, and in the mirror, you see almost nothing. And it's incredibly tempting to escalate then. It's incredibly tempting to increase intensity, to want to add more structure, or even try to accelerate the process somehow. Because, as we said in one of the previous videos, intensity feels like action, like progress. Escalation feels like seriousness. But I've gradually learned something quieter, that our bodies change slowly, habits change slowly, and identity changes even slower. And the most meaningful shifts often happen beneath visibility first. Your nervous system stabilizes before your physique changes. Your energy regulation improves before your schedule starts to look different. Your internal dialogue softens before your external behavior becomes consistent. But the problem is that these shifts are subtle, and subtlety doesn't feel impressive, so we underestimate it. What helped me a lot was changing how I evaluate progress altogether. So instead of asking, has everything changed yet? I started trying to ask something like, am I slightly more stable now than I was a month ago, for example? So not dramatically different, just slightly. Slightly less reactive, slightly more consistent, slightly quicker to resume after disruption. Because progress is rarely linear. It compounds quietly, like interest accumulating, really. It's invisible at first, obvious only in retrospect, and if you interrupt the process too early, you never even see the curve form. And I feel like this is where patience becomes strategic and not passive. Patience is not waiting. It is continuing despite incomplete feedback. It is trusting small adjustments long enough for them to accumulate. So, when progress feels invisible, it doesn't mean nothing is happening. It often means the process is still in its foundation phase. Roots grow before branches. And if you can tolerate that stage, if you can continue without spectacle, the visible shifts tend to follow naturally, but they rarely arrive on demand. Perhaps the real skill is then not accelerating progress. Perhaps it is staying steady long enough to witness it. Something worth noticing.